Hi there, Crystal Thompson here with the Studio Katia project. I'm going to show you how to make this super easy card using some layery stencils, an off black ink, and a super fun way to use your glitter as a ribbon or embellishment. So stay tuned to see what products we're using and how to make this super cool and super easy card. Hey there, we are ready to get started. Let me show you what we've got. We got the Studio Katia products, of course. We have the exclusive from Creativation. I'm using the Crafty Friends are the best. I love the sentiment, but you can use any other sentiment from the Studio Katia line. Again, just the sentiment is what we're using. Then we're using the Creative Stencil Ink Splash, and we'll be using these ink splashes in a variety of colors. We're doing green and orange and a light blue and a pink, and we're going to blend the stencil out of that, and then using a gray ink, we are going to stamp the Crafty. And last but not least, we're going to be doing an embellishment ribbon using this beautiful glitter that was just released in the latest release. So to get started, we're going to bring in our stencil. And I had mentioned that we were using a variation of colors, and I want to be sure that I stress that we want to stay within the center of our card panel or a card base, depending on how you craft. So we're going to begin with this beautiful mint color, and I have my ink blender ready to go. Now I am using the Studio Katia ink blenders because they're absolutely beautiful, and I really like the way they blend. So this first one, this one has the edge pretty close, so we're gonna start on that. And I love using Studio Katia ink blenders because you can get close to that edge and not mess up the look of what you're trying to create. So I love creating clean and simple cards, and we don't want those lines to mess it up, right? So we're gonna do this first batch using this beautiful minty color. We're gonna remove that, and you have that gorgeous variation. We're gonna set that aside and bring in our next color, in this case being a gorgeous peach color. And we're gonna just switch out, and again using our Studio Katia ink blender. And you could very well use pixie spray, but we're moving so fast that I feel like we don't need it. As long as we have a good hold of it with our fingers, it will be just fine. I hope you guys have checked out all the newest Studio Katia products. Let me know if you did and what your thought process was on that and what you thought about the newest release. So we got that beautiful peach color. I love soft color combinations, especially when stamping with other colors. Next up, we're going to do this guy right here, and we are going to use this beautiful plum purplish color. Okay, and as you can see, we are layering these stencils just a little bit on top of each other. You can use any color combinations that you like. I am dreaming of spring, and hence why we're using these beautiful soft pastels, and it's going to be easier to stamp and see what's on top of this with a pastel palette of colors. And last but not least, we are doing this pink champagne, and we're going to use the pink champagne in the one stencil that looks like a splatter, and we'll end up using that on several places of this card. All right, very easy to create with this. All right, so we're kind of done with our ink blending part of this. Now we're going to move on to stamping our sentiment and then creating that beautiful ribbon of glitter that I had mentioned earlier. So we're going to bring in a dark gray ink pad, and we're going to stamp that sentiment down below. And if you want to use a misty, that is just fine. We're going to be brave and stamp this, and we're just going to hold it for a couple seconds to allow this cardstock to really absorb that gray. And I love how gray goes instead of black. I think that most of us don't necessarily go for the gray sometimes. We're so used to using black. All right, so that's done. It's drying up. What we're going to do now is I have a piece of the iCraft purple tape, and you want to bring in a piece of like a printer paper, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So I have clean printer paper. We're gonna move this up to the top, and we're gonna create, like I said, the ribbon of glitter. This is another way to use your beautiful Studio Katia glitters, is to create embellishment ribbons. And you can do a whole frame of it, but we're going to keep it nice and simple and just do this bottom part. I have the Tumble Mono Liquid Adhesive. You can use whatever you like. You can even use Nuvo. And you want to do one stripe. We're going to use our finger. If you're not liking that texture, you can use a brush. Do not let this hold you back. You don't actually need a ton of it, just a little bit goes a long way. I'm gonna grab my newest glitter, and I love that this release had a ton of glitter on it. And then we are gonna lift, shake, and then we're gonna remove this masking. You could do it without the masking, but I feel like the clean lines of it is what really make this card really cool and really neat to work with. Guys, that does it for me. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed this quick tutorial on another way to use your glitter jars from the newest Studio Katia release. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts on the card and the process. Thanks so much.